Have you ever pondered if you thrive in collective energy or in quiet contemplation? Is your soul best nurtured in a community or in solitude? The next segment this morning is a friendly and respectful debate that provides a deeper insight into both these paths. You will have the opportunity to hear from passionate voices with lived experience. Our moderator for this morning is Brother Sai Santosh from Atlanta. He's very passionate about rescuing and rehabilitating farm animals from difficult and stressful situations. In his free time, he absolutely loves bringing kids and YAs to the farms to help them reconnect with nature. In his experience, the animal kingdom teaches us the greatest sadhana lesson every day, that there is only now, the omnipresent now. So I'd like to invite Brother Sai Santosh to the stage to moderate the debate.
Can you hear me? Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram, everyone. Awesome. Looks like everybody's awake, had a good breakfast. I'm so grateful to Swami for this wonderful conference that we have had for the last 3 days with some amazing workshops, talks, and the most incredible place that we saw yesterday from the SSC and YAs. I'm feeling super inspired with a lot of clarity on my path for sadhana. And today we are going to have an invigorating, engaging, and inspiring debate between two dynamic teams. And I'd like to start bringing them onto the stage now on a topic that is close to all of our hearts, sadhana. Yes, sadhana is something that we all think about and commit to in our lives. Yes? Sometimes we feel happy and encouraged about our sadhana, and other times we might feel a little bit stuck. We've all been there. But have you ever wondered which path is the best? Individual or group sadhana? I'm sure all of you have some favorite. Which takes us closer to Swami, which energizes us, which gives us more enthusiasm, which path is most inspiring, in which path do you face the most barriers? So let's say Sai Ram, buckle up and please join us on this transformative journey for the next 45 minutes. All we need is your loving attention, your open heart and mind. So let's bring out these wonderful participants to come up to the stage now, and feel free to encourage and clap when they come up to the stage and share their points. There might be something that you truly resonate with, so please encourage and clap and welcome them. All right, I'm going to introduce the two dynamics teams for today with the one on my left. And please give them a warm applause. This is the individual sadhana team. Starting with Kirtana from Houston. Swati from Houston. Murli from Dallas. Or as we Telugu people call it, Dallas. Ritesh from the Bay Area. Sister Ramya from Boston. Sai Prasanna from Chicago. Or as we call in Telugu, Chicago. All right, to friendly reminder, on my left is the individual sadhana team, and on my right is the group sadhana team. And this is not a study circle, so when they come up, this is a debate, and they say some points that you resonate with, what would you do? Clap. All We're going to start with a beautiful discourse of Swami on sadhana, and there's so many beautiful ones, and this was a special one that we wanted to share, and hope you can all hear this.
And because the husk or the grain that is responsible for rebirth, when once the husk is removed, and if you just only the rice, you make use of this rice for all other purposes. And you make pulihora, chakkara pongali, chitrannam, payasam. They are all rice preparations. And you can make it rice flour and make a dosa. Or idli. Idli is one name. And there's puri another name. We have the rice.
ఈ విధంగా తీసుకుంటే మనం తినే తిండిని బట్టి ఆహారాన్ని బట్టి దీనికి పేర్లు మారుతున్నాయి కానీ లేకపోతే అన్ని బియ్యమే.
The names go on changing depending upon the item that you partake or consume, but basically it is rice alone.
అయితే బియ్యం అన్ని ఒకటే అయినప్పటికీ పాకము,
though the rice is same, but
అదే సంస్కారము.
This paka, the preparation, is samskara, refinement.
మనసును సంస్కరింప చేసుకుంటే అది చాలా పవిత్రమైపోతుంది.
We have to polish or refine our mind.
అప్పుడే దాన్ని మనం భుజిస్తాము.
Then only that food which is cooked,
బియ్యాన్ని ఎవరు కూడా తినరు,
is fit for consumption.
కానీ ప్రతి ఒక్కదానికి సంస్కారం ఉండాలి.
So, I know a lot of you were thinking about the food part. So let me reiterate what Swami was saying is the last important part in the bottom beyond all the chakkar pongala and idlis is our mind should also be purified through the process of refinement term samskara. And so sadhana is a term that we're using here to reference spiritual practices, a spiritual practice that you practice on your own or as part of a group. So I'm going to show you two characters now. The first one, his name is Sam, and he loves to do sadhana on his own. And he wakes up in the morning, goes around his neighborhood, picks up trash. And then after that, I'm going to show you a character named Sally, who is fully energized to gather folks around the community to do seva. And then I'm going to ask you a very interesting question. So that was Sam. Now let's see Sally.
Okay, everyone, let's get this neighborhood sparkling. Team A, you take the west side. Team B, the east. Let's make this park beautiful together.
All right, so how many of you here resonate with a Sam? Okay, not bad. How many with Sally? Oh, a lot more. Okay. Both? Okay, that's good. All right, so we are going to actually dive into the motion one of this fantastic debate. The motion one is about the advantages of group and individual sadhana. And as these wonderful participants come up and share their insights, please engage with them and cheer them on if you find some points that you resonate with. So I'm going to first invite our group sadhana team to come up to the stage and share what are the advantages of doing group sadhana.
Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Bhagwan. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. As Sai Santosh already said, we are all in the path of self-transformation. So what is self-transformation? Self-transformation is the process of purifying our heart and let that pure divine love just shine with exuberance. How do we become that pure divine love? How do we ensure that our progress is steady and profound? The answer lies in the power of collective action, which is group transformation. What is group transformation? As the Sai Center and as members of the Sai organization, we are always doing that. We are part of a service activity, devotional singing, study circle, or maybe chanting the Vedas together. All these are group sadhanas. Today, I'm here to tell you about 3 pillars that are foundational for group sadhana, that is not only beneficial for self-transformation, but it is essential for self-transformation. The first one is accountability. So in a group setting, when members of the group are working towards something, they keep each other accountable about their commitment and help them to be steady and consistent in their practice. For example, I'm a volunteer who will go for tree planting every week during the tree planting season, and I'll sign up for every week. And so we are a group of people who will drive together in one car because we are environmentally conscious, and we'll drive down all the way to the south side of Chicago, and we'll plant and we'll come back. One of the weeks I had so much work at home, I was contemplating whether to go for the tree planting or not. So I was thinking maybe this week I will miss it. At that night, a member of the group called, "What time are you coming to pick me up?" Oh my God, I decided to contemplate. I was going to be driving people and I had committed to drive. So I flipped. I decided to go, and at the same time, I was praying to Swami, "Swami, please take me through this day. I have so much to do at home. I also committed to do the tree planting, but you're going to do it for me, so I'll just go do it." And guess what? I got all my work at home done, and I also did the tree planting. My conscience was really clear. I was able to keep up with my clear conscience of doing what I did for committing to do things. This is because, thank you, the group helped me to be consistent. That members' call made me think about it, and I flipped my switch. So that's what happened. The second pillar is personalization. Personalization sounds a little bit contradictory. It's like doing what I want, but this is spiritual personalization. What is spiritual personalization? It is designing my spiritual life that is really deep, and also it is very, very tailored to my individual spiritual progress. This happens in a group sadhana. A group sadhana helps you discover hidden potentials that is within you that I wouldn't have known if I was doing by myself. So I'll give you an example. I am part of a study circle. It's called AWE, led by our dear Dr. Suresh Govind. He facilitates it with us. And we have been working together for so many years. And there are a group of facilitators, and we are studying the Gita Vahini text. Okay, so we all have read the Gita Vahini maybe many times. And all the things that we learn in Gita Vahini, that we read, sound like esoteric things that's unachievable in practical life. But because of this group sadhana, where members who are facilitators, we meet several times before every monthly session, just like the facets of the different diamond, the collective wisdom of all the members who are part of this preparation just comes out, converting this esoteric text into practical tool for everyday living. So I'll tell you how that happened. So every month after our session, we'll have a practice goal. The practice goal is something that we will take back and practice for the whole month and come back and reflect on it. So one of the goals was being comfortable doing the uncomfortable, pushing our boundaries. Okay, so we were asked to do that. So that month, I went on a trip to Norway, and we were on the beautiful fjords. There was an opportunity to take the kayak and go through the fjords, and I was thinking, oh my God, I would love to be there, but what if my kayak just overturns and I'm in the water and I get drenched, then what will I do? So this fear was always haunting me. And I remember this is my practice goal. I have to push my boundaries, do something that I'm not comfortable with. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to put aside my fear, I'm going to put my faith in Swami, and I'm going to go do it. So what? I did that. the joy I got of even doing something that I was scared to do, but being in the blissful waters of nature and enjoying that fjord waters was so enjoyable. This happened because of the group I am part of for the sadhana that pushed me to push my boundary. And the third pillar is the power of sacrifice over convenience. So convenience is where you want to do what you like. But in a group setting, we tend to look at what the group needs to achieve. And so we'll sacrifice all our personal interest, limitations, and do what the group needs to do. And that power of sacrifice leads to immortality, which is real self-transformation, right? So therefore, we can do group sadhana, just like we, members of the organization, have plenty of opportunities. We have to leverage those things and really move forward with self-transformation by group sadhana. So I invite you all to be very consistent in that practice of group sadhana. Thank you. Sai Ram.
Wonderful. That was Sai Prasanna from Chicago. So she gave some amazing points here. Accountability, personalization, being able to set goals that are uncomfortable for you, and overcoming convenience. I'm sure all of you kind of resonate with it. Now I'm going to open the floor for the individual sadhana team to share your deep insights into what are the advantages of doing individual sadhana.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. I am representing the individual sadhana group. When speaking of self-transformation, our group feels that individual sadhana is the best way to achieve this goal. We will highlight for you 3 advantages of individual sadhana, which I'm sure most of you can resonate with. The first advantage, of course, is the most obvious, is convenience. One is able to decide the time and place that is most convenient. Furthermore, having an individual sadhana practice helps to build consistency. Let me give you a few examples. Example number 1. Due to my work schedule, I often work weekends and I am unable to attend group projects such as learning the Pancharatna Kritis or seva projects that happen on weekends. I can, however, make an effort to read Sai literature on my own or listen to bhajans or discourses on my commute. Let me give you another example. Perhaps a location for a seva is just too far away, such as one of the many medical camps that occur in rural Texas. I'm nervous to drive by myself and I can't find a ride to anyone to carpool with. I can, however, keep some granola bars or water bottles or fruit in my car and hand them out to any homeless people I may encounter on my commute to or from work, which often does happen. See, many of you resonate. And let me give you one more example. Nowadays, with the help of technology, our centers are able to arrange Zoom calls for various group sadhanas, such as chanting the Gayatri Mantra. Unfortunately, these calls often occur between 8 or 9 p.m., which, if you're a parent, you know it's peak bedtime or housework duties at home. So I'm usually unable to make any of those calls. The timing is not working out. I can, however, finish all of my duties around the house and sit and chant on my own when I'm able to. The second advantage to individual sadhana is the personalization. Now you'll hear our aspect or our version. By personalization, we are referring to the fact that you are able to work on the areas that resonate with you the most. For example, perhaps I'm not interested in working on learning Vedas at this point in my life because of my busy schedule and my lack of time to practice. I do, however, really enjoy working with children, so I channel my energy working with children at the center with the SSC kids and volunteering with them. Another great aspect of personalization is that you can seek out individual or selective guidance on an aspect of sadhana which is interesting to you. For example, in study circle at center, the discussion may not be interesting because it's either too high level or too basic compared to where I might be on my own personal spiritual journey. I can invest my time more wisely by working on areas I personally feel more development in. For example, I'm constantly working on being a more patient and peaceful parent. For this individual sadhana, I often seek out parenting books such as Sathya Sai Parenting, and I also try my best to practice meditation. It doesn't happen all the time, but I try. Do namasmarana or breathing exercises, and I can seek out further guidance on these specific topics. One last aspect of personalization to highlight is that you don't have to go along with the group majority for the sake of being a team player. For example, the majority YA group may collectively decide to do a tree planting seva, but in Texas, this is not really of interest to me in the boiling heat and getting mosquito bites. I know some of y'all in Boston or Chicago may enjoy it, but let's be real. But for the EnviroCare people, I do have a lot of indoor plants. I'm personally more interested in something else, such as doing seva with animals, perhaps volunteering at an animal shelter. The third and last advantage of individual sadhana that we would like to highlight is the self-introspection that goes along with it. In pursuing individual sadhana, you are able to think for yourself, listen to your true inner voice, and have a deeper connection with your conscience and not be influenced by others' words or actions. For example, our center has a service project, where we go to the CPS shelter to interact with the residents there and serve them ice cream and cake and sing happy birthday. I would find that sometimes when going with the big group, I wound up socializing more so with my friends from center rather than interacting with the residents. If I had gone on my own, I probably would have been more fully present and not been so distracted or caught up in socializing. And I'm sure many of you feel that, right? Remember, Swami says, only in the depths of silence can the voice of God be heard. When we engage in unnecessary conversations with people around us, we get caught up in trying to be more likable, or we try to present a certain version of ourselves. When we're on our own, we can be our true selves and remember to listen to our own beliefs and listen to the conscience within. So these are the three main advantages we as a group see that individual sadhana affords us on our journeys to self-transformation. Thank you.
Yay, wonderful. Such amazing points about time and place, consistency, personalization, self-introspection, and going deep into silence. I've been actually trying to do that sadhana for the last 3 nights of trying to go deep into silence, but my roommates are snoring. So that is my group sadhana, or maybe they are saying the same thing. So it's like Dolby Atmos kind of thing in the hotel room, but it is what it is. So we're going to now go deeper into the 4 whys of sadhana. I'm sure if I walk around this room and I ask you a question, why do you want to do sadhana? Each one of you is going to come up with a unique answer. And so this is only a perspective, right? And so we're going to go deep into the 4 whys. The first why. Why does the individual have to transform? To remove bad feelings and to have more pure feelings. And let's go a little deeper. Why do we want to have purity of feelings? To recognize our divinity. Why do we want to recognize our divinity? To be happy always. Or one of the answers is to be God 24/7. Why do we want to be happy always? Because it's our natural state. So I'm sure you have your own 4 whys, and if you have a notebook, you're welcome to write down what those 4 whys are. I'm going to play an incredible discourse from Swami from the same year that we've been hearing for the last 2 days, from the year 1968. This was on Swami's birthday. It's one of the landmark discourses where he's talking about what is the end goal of sadhana.
I have come to give you the key of the treasure of ananda or bliss. to tell you how to tap that spring, for you have forgotten the way to blessedness. If you waste this chance of saving yourselves, it is just your fate. You have come to get from me tinsel and trash, the petty little cures and promotions, worldly joys and comforts. Very few of you desire to get from me the thing I have come to give you, namely liberation itself. And even among these few, those who stick to the path of spiritual practice and succeed are a handful.
Some goosebumps right there. Can anybody guess who's the speaker? Yes. So motion 2, now we are going to dive deep into group and individual sadhana. Ready? You all ready for motion 2? Yes? All right. Just making sure everybody's awake. So we have 4 themes that we are going to cover. And one of the first themes that we are going to dive deeper into is accountability. So I'm going to now invite the group sadhana team to share your insights. Thank you. Sorry, Sister Ramya.
Thank you. There you go. Group, come on. Sairam. With utmost gratitude to Swami, we thank you for providing this opportunity to reflect and share our thoughts on how group sadhana helps drive accountability. Before we dive deep into this topic, we will start by defining what accountability means to us. In the context of group sadhana, accountability means achieving consistency in spiritual practice. We have already heard about how everybody, even from the individual sadhana group, had difficulty, right, with consistency. We empathize with you, and that's why we want you on this side. Following the social media trend, here's our expectation versus reality. The expectation is to have a smooth journey on this spiritual path, doing consistent, intense spiritual practice that refines oneself and helps experience the divine within. Talking personally here, if my calculation is right, at this steady pace, I should have been a self-realized soul at least 15 years ago. But sorry, I'm here today. So that's the reality, right? The reality is this journey has been a disjointed sinusoidal wave with frequent ups and downs and lots of breaks in between. How many of you agree with that? Yeah? It is a challenge. It is a challenge. Amidst all this instability, group sadhana is the only thing that has kept me stay the course. This reminds me of a bhajan. When I slip, when I fall, lend me a hand. When I stray far away, bring me back again. How many of you know this bhajan? How many times have we remembered of that hand when we actually slipped and fell? Few. I want the individual sadhana team to please make a note of it. This is my point. When you actually slip and fall, sometimes you will not even remember about this hand. And still you have asked Swami to lend his hand, right? He is reaching out to you. And you have forgotten all about the hand. And who reminds you of that hand? I don't have a caller, but the group sadhana. We remind you, we serve as that gentle push to remind you of that loving hand so that you can hold on to it. So that is the power of group sadhana. Please, thank you so much. I'm sure many of you would have been in this situation. When you participate in a group sadhana, sometimes you are the one that needs that reminder. And sometimes you are the one that's reminding a fellow traveler, right? So that is why you need a group spiritual practice and not just the individual spiritual practice. I would like to share a personal experience that is very relevant here. Again, I'm going to repeat some of the points that they have said, because that's a challenge that I did face, that I am facing. I like doing early morning meditation and Suprabhatam. I really want to do it every day because it clears my mind. It provides the clarity for the rest of the day. I do want to do it, but due to various reasons, I can't. I can't establish consistency. And I did give up on that. I said, you know what? This is not my cup of tea. It's okay, Swami. You can enjoy the Suprabhatam. You can wake up by yourself. I am happy for you. But in our center, we started doing a weekly meditation session. And that helped bring the consistency and the motivation that I lacked at the individual level. Right? If I'm the perfect being, I don't need a reminder, but I'm not. So that is why I need a group that supports me, that motivates me, that stands with me always. As sisters, thank you again. I'm going to be thanking you for every clap here. I am really recognizing your appreciation here. Thank you. And this is not match fixing, okay? I didn't tell anybody to clap for me. As Sister Sai Prasanna shared earlier, just a simple, loving phone call or a shared ride from a group member gives that gentle push that is needed to achieve consistency in our spiritual practice. Group sadhana is the effective way to get that support and achieve consistency. Jai Sai Ram.
All right, the individual sadhana team. What do you have for us in store? Let's see. Kirtana from Houston.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet. That was a very tough act to follow, but let's see what we can have here happen. Accountability definitely is a big part of group sadhana, but let's go a little bit further. Who are we accountable to? During group sadhana, you're accountable to the group, not yourself. During individual sadhana, you're accountable to yourself only and actually take action according to your personal best interests. For example, if you've committed to showing up at 6 a.m. one day for a group sadhana, but the day before you were busy from dawn to dusk and came home exhausted, you will feel obliged to show up regardless of your physical well-being, and you will deprioritize your own personal rest and recovery in favor of keeping up your name in front of society. Accountability in group sadhana is fueled by log kya kahenge? What will people say? What will people think of me? Which is rooted in ego. It's our ego that we are trying to save when we are trying to fulfill our duties outside. When the real question we need to ask ourselves is, what will Swami say? What does the Swami inside of me need right now? Another example, during the pre-flight safety announcements, one of the messages they convey is, please put the oxygen mask over yourself first. Before you put it on even your own child. Which is very valid because you are no help to anyone when you yourself are overextended or incapacitated. Sai Prasanna auntie shared about the one weekend where she hesitated going to tree planting. Why did she hesitate? Because of all the duties she had at home. And she mentioned one very critical point. She was able to go to tree planting after all, with a clear conscience. But what did she do before that? Finish her housework. What if you are unable to finish that housework? will you still be able to go to tree planting seva with a clear conscience, thinking about all the work you have to do at home? Swami says, have unity in thought, word, and deed. Your word and deed will be tree planting, but your thoughts will be at home, mentally making a list of every chore you have left incomplete. What peace of mind will you have? What satisfaction will you have going outside and doing seva? Swami says service begins with your family. I want to remind you all of the story of Pundarika. Is anyone familiar with Pundarika's story? Pundarika was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna and was always engaged in service to his elderly parents. When Lord Krishna himself showed up at Pundarika's doorstep, Pundarika with utmost humility asked him, please wait for him outside, as he hadn't finished doing his duty to his parents yet, which is his own personal, unique, individual duty that no one else in the world will be able to complete. When you prioritize your unique individual dharma and individual sadhana, the Lord himself will come before you to shower you with his blessings. You are answerable to Swami, and Swami always says you have a direct connection with him alone. When you commit to Swami, you show up for that commitment out of the love and devotion you have for Swami, and you do so with full-hearted enthusiasm and no resentment or sense of obligation in your heart, or dread for any dirty dishes waiting for you back home. The only accountability partner you need to listen to is your moral compass, your conscience, the voice of Swami in your head, gently guiding you along, calling you Bangaru, Prema Swarupalara, reminding you so sweetly and lovingly that you are an embodiment of love, an absolute spark of divinity. Swami said, my life is my message. And he said, your life is my message. With the weight of that responsibility on our heads and the love of Swami in our hearts, we will naturally be held accountable by Swami's standards for us and our love and respect for him alone. Jai Sai Ram.
That's what we call as a home run. See, all this what log kya kahenge, people will what say, all that we forget when we're in the dining hall. You know, when the food plate is in front of me. You know, Swami is saying, Bangaru, how much will you eat? But it's there. So the next, we're going to next theme, correct? Yes. So the next theme is about convenience, and we're going to have Brother Ritesh share his wonderful insights.
Saram, everyone. With gratitude to Swami and the entire audience present here, I would like to share a little bit about why our group believes that the little inconveniences that come with group sadhana are not necessarily a very bad thing. Actually, it's very hard to go after a wonderful presentation like that by Kirtana. But I'm really glad that Swami gave us the opportunity to talk about convenience. Houston, huh? Where's the Bay Area folks? Oh, there you go. This reminds me of yesterday's moment. As you all saw the wonderful young adult play last night, it was the culmination of 3 months or 4 months of arduous sacrifices and countless number of inconveniences where we had many, many, many moments of, we have kids to take care of. We have elders who are sick in a different country where we had to travel in the last minute, but still do the practices, still make everything happen, still do this. The reason I'm sharing this is to not to share that is what is needed, but to get the task done, but that is what is needed for our personal spiritual growth. What is spiritual growth? It is for us to recognize and surrender to the Lord's will. Surrender doesn't come when you are living within your own conveniences, where you are controlling all your variables and you don't need to think of anything else, and you're able to take care of yourself in your own moment. The Lord often gives us opportunities to push ourselves to the brink of needing to surrender, where you have no other opportunity but to remember Swami's words of Bangaru and Prema Surupalara. It's not that you are making an effort, but you no longer have a choice. This is the only path when you're in the group, and you have to make concessions to the group, you have to go along with the group, and you have to learn humility, tolerance, and patience. How are you going to do all of this when you can just wake up one day and say, today, let me just skip Suprabhatam, tomorrow I can do it? Ultimately, what we can accomplish together gives us a large and amazing opportunity that nothing that we can do individually can do. What do we do with this opportunity? That is the real key. The opportunity presents us with a moment for us to recognize our own inner vices, our blind spots that nothing would have shown us, actually. We are being pushed to that brink of saying, Swami, we've done everything. It is now your will. And what happens after that moment? Like what happened with the play yesterday, you were like, wow, Swami, we see your hand in everything. Your faith improves. Your connection to the Lord improves. And you continue to do more and more of these things, and you have the energy to go more. As a quick example, I've probably slept for 3 hours every day for the last 4 days. And I'm still able to go just because of the energy of the group. You know, I'm not thinking about this. It is not that I don't have household chores to do, but the energy comes from the universe when you're trying to do something larger than yourself. It is beyond oneself. It's recognizing that unity, that collective sense of belonging, and tapping into that universal energy that only comes when we as a group work together for a greater common good. So I appeal to everyone here, if you think that group sadhana brings to in your life small inconveniences, take them as blessings, because without those inconveniences, you are not going to grow the way that Swami wants us all to grow. Sai Ram.
That was fantastic. All right. So, individual sadhana team, are you ready? Yes?
What are some ways in which individual sadhana is convenient? You decide the time and place of your convenience, and it helps build consistency. But let me tell you a personal story. So last month, I started a new job. This job requires me to work on certain Saturdays every month. Because of this, I'm no longer able to attend bhajans on Saturdays or participate in other group center events. At first, I was very disappointed with having my Saturdays blocked by work. But then, I remembered Swami's quote, "Work is worship. Duty is God. Do your duty. Even the tiniest work is a flower placed at the feet of Bhagavan." I work as an optometrist, and my clinic's target demographic are lower income families, where we provide comprehensive eye exams and 2 pairs of glasses for the affordable price of $90. Saturdays are our busiest days, and we see many patients who work long hours and are unable to come in during the regular weekdays. Some of these people haven't seen a primary care doctor in the past 10-15 years. I turn my job into my seva by the mentality with which I approach my patients, by speaking softly, sweetly, and lovingly, and by taking those extra few minutes with them to explain in simple terms what's going on with their health, what they should and shouldn't be doing, and what consequences they can expect to face in the future if they don't improve their lifestyle choices. Many of them tell me this is the first time they're hearing about this. No doctor has told them about this before. Some of the patients I see are Spanish-speaking only, and when I greet them with a hi, they greet me back with hola. And then I smile even bigger, and I tell them, "Yo puedo hablar en español, ¿en qué puede servirle?" Which means I can speak in Spanish. In what ways can I help you? I see the fear melt away from their faces. They relax. They feel so much more comfortable. And it makes me really feel happy inside. I've come to realize that even though I am missing out on the opportunity of doing group sadhana on Saturdays, I personally am adding more unique value to the world as an individual, just by the convenience of showing up to work on a Saturday. Sai Ram.
Wow, that was amazing. Work is worship, duty is God. All right, this playing this role also has been very inconvenient for me because I spend most of my time with rescued animals. I'm always moderating and shepherding animals. So somebody said, "Can you moderate humans?" I was like, "I'll try my best." So we are going to dive deeper now into the next topic is personalization. And actually this time I'm going to flip it around and ask the individual sadhana team to go first. And this is Brother Murli. I call him a YA. YA, youngish adult.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Go Alice. So when everyone says Sai Ram, somebody sees it's a group activity. People are saying unison. But actually I see someone is saying Sai Ram. Someone is saying Sai Ram with bhava. So that is personalization. You are even saying Sai Ram collectively, it becomes a group activity, but it becomes a personal sadhana when you bring your heart out and say how you say Sai Ram. And that brings me second point is, after Ketana speaks, I feel that we already won the debate. And I become so tensed up, what do I have to speak after Ketana speaks? Okay, coming back to the topic, we are talking about self-transformation through individual sadhana. For me, this is something like cooking my own recipe and eating my own recipe versus eating a recipe prepared for somebody else. A food prepared for somebody else is group sadhana. The food which I cook, I eat is personal sadhana. And when you are pursuing this particular personal sadhana, there are some obstacles, some barriers, and also there are some enablers, some contributing factors. Let's dwell on what these are and how we can mitigate the obstacles successfully and how we successfully use the enablers. One obstacle, in my personal sadhana, if I want to connect to Swami within, sometimes the ego pops up. I do not accept people's opinions, or I feel that, okay, I suddenly get anger. Okay, this fellow is talking to me like this. And my personal sadhana comes up and says, okay, hey man, you need to see the God within. How you do it? Since I am an individual, I have that liberty or convenience or accountability to work my own. I can read some Swami's discourses, or I can listen to his discourses, or I can go to any literature which soothes my anger. If that doesn't help me, I can still specifically choose a counselor to control my ego or to eliminate my ego. That is personalization. That helps me a lot to remove that one. Now let's talk about enablers. What are the things which enable me for the self-transformation? Here the topic is self-transformation. It's not group activity. So if I'm talking about self-transformation within myself, what are the enablers? I'll give a small example. I'm not a singer, but I want to sing bhajans because I connect to Swami while singing bhajans. Now, since I'm not a singer, if I go and sit in a bhajan hall with a group singing in front of an altar where we have around 30-40 devotees sitting, I'm very conscious. Am I singing to the tune? Am I singing the lyrics correctly, or the thala is coming? But what is missing? They all may be there, but what is missing? Bhava. Bhava is missing. Instead, I can go sit into a quiet corner in front of a Swami's picture and sing to him. Only the bhava comes. I don't worry about the raga or tala in that one. And while singing that bhajan, I may pause at line and I repeat the same line 3 times, 4 times because I see Swami in that one. I see Swami in that one. I want to enjoy that moment. So I go back, rewind, and sing the same line 3, 4 times. And I may give a pause, cry for some time. That is what transformation is. When your heart is tender, that is the place where God's name can be inscribed, which stays for longer. That is my personal sadhana. Once Swami has mentioned to one of the students who was singing, as a singer, you need to focus on the tala. You need to focus on raga and tala. When you sing in tune, the devotees follow with bhava. And now bhava will come to me. See, that is the way how you extract bhava. That is a big process. Whereas in personalization sadhana, I can directly offer that bhava to Swami. I don't have to depend on raga and tala. So that is the way how you can personalize things. And let me talk about one personal sadhana, which is service. You would have heard, while introducing our moderator, Santosh, that he is an animal lover. Of course, he also loves human beings. I'm not saying. But if he has to go for a sadhana, which is prescribed by the center, would he be happy? Your centers are giving multiple options for you to do service. But being a person who is enthusiastic at service, are you attending every service? No. You will be picking and choosing a service which is close to your heart. That is personalization again. Now, given a chance to push, he would say, oh, I prefer to go to an animal shelter and do service than going to some other activity. So, like that, personal sadhana, thank you. Like that, personal sadhana is very, very important for us because your objective is self-transformation. Saira.
Saira, I think my case was made there. I don't really have to talk much. But I'll explain why I said that. As Sister Ramya was mentioning, we're talking about expectation versus reality here. Yes, we all want to attain God. We all want to attain spiritual growth and recognize our inherent divinity. If we all had that, then we can follow exactly what the individual sadhana team is talking about. Recognize Swami, remember Swami every moment of the day, and personalize your sadhana plan yourself. The point is, personalization is not wrong. It's in fact absolutely correct. Swami has said this. One advice for one person doesn't apply to somebody else. The key to recognize here is who is doing this personalization. How do I know what is right for me? Given the options and given my tendencies, I'm going to choose what's easy for me instead of what's needed for me. I need to know how to personalize this correctly. A small example. In my own life, I prefer service over every other activity, so I always just went to service activities. I never went to devotional programs as much, and so I never thought I needed to learn to chant the Vedas. It felt so far off to me, not my culture. I don't understand tonality. How am I going to do this? But during the pandemic, the International Young Adults launched a program to teach the young adults Vedas. All my young adults friends were signing up. They're like, oh, it's an opportunity to learn. I was like, what is this? Why do I have to learn this? But they're like, just sign up, just sign up. And they forced me to do it. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I needed a lot of help. I needed a lot of help with my friends to get the tones right. And once I learned just a tad bit, and started practicing it consistently, with my own lived experience, I understood what the benefits of Veda chanting were. It was incredible, right? So in my own personalized plan, with my current interests, I would have never ventured to go and learn the Vedas. It is through the help of the group that I even saw that. What did this give me? Vedas were a way to replenish my energy to go back and do even more service. How is it that you have time to do service and go back and do your kitchen dishes? Do the right sadhana and have the right sadhana in your toolkit. But how do you know what is the right thing, especially if you're already struggling for energy? And so I would really say that if we're going to limit our sadhana opportunities to just what we know, we're really limiting our spiritual growth. And that's why satsang is very important for spiritual growth. Sairam.
Now we're going to wrap it up very quickly with one of the final themes, which is how is each sadhana path unique and have its benefits?
Sir, I'm coming to the final question, or final topic of our personal sadhana for self-transformation. We have discussed about various aspects of individual sadhana for self-transformation, like convenience. We talk about personalization. There are quite a few advantages with that one, but let me give you one personal example which I follow on day-to-day basis to connect to Swami. For any transformation, as I mentioned earlier, like you need to make your heart tender, like Swami has mentioned it, unless the soil is soft, there is no point in putting seeds on that one. It will not grow. It will not grow. So for that one, you need to have a feeling that Swami is within me. So you need to forcefully bring that feeling. You need to forcefully bring that feeling. So what I do is, when I'm traveling alone in the car, when no one is physically around me, I invite Swami to come and sit next to me in the passenger seat. I invite Swami to come and sit next to me. I visualize that he is sitting. And I feel that. And that's the reason why whenever I travel alone, I don't keep any luggage, including my office laptop also, I don't keep it in the passenger seat. It's always on the back seat only. Now Swami is sitting next to me. What do? I'll talk to him. I'll share my problems. I'll share my happiness. I'll fight with him. Swami, why did you like this? Why did you do like this? Why did you do like that? He answers. He doesn't answer. I'm not interested, because I see him there, I visualize him there. And I think about the moments where I physically traveled with him. I talk about those things. I also talk about the missed opportunities of serving him and serving his devotees. Swami, I lament, Swami, I missed an opportunity. Would you be kind enough to give me that opportunity again? Can I change myself? Can I do it differently? So all these things will happen in individual sadhana, because you are connecting to him, not to the group. So, with this one, I strongly feel that individual sadhana is the best way for self-transformation. If anyone has reservations, or if anyone has otherwise think, meet me privately. Sai Ram.
That was wonderful. What a beautiful practice of inviting Swami in your everyday life. Thank you for sharing that.
Brother Murali, that was very touching, how you give the seat to Swami. You know what we are saying? When the car is full, the only place Swami has is your heart, in everyone's heart. So whoever does not agree with the individual sadhana, you're always welcome to do group sadhana. Everyone is welcome here. No special interviews. You are in the team already. So have you heard the phrase, the sum is greater than the parts? That means that a whole entity or a system, when considered as a unit, is more valuable, effective, and significant than the sum of its individual components. What is A plus B the whole square? A square plus B square plus, there you go. That 2AB is group sadhana. Otherwise, you would have just had A square and B square, right? Yeah. This concept highlights the idea that interactions and relationships between the parts can create something new and greater than the individual elements alone. Swami says, my life is my message, expansion is my life. Group sadhana is the ideal vehicle to practice that expansion. Let me ask you a simple question. Why are we here at this conference? Please, team, go ahead. Mic drop. How many of you missed your flights? How many of you had cancelled flights? How many of you reached at 2 a.m. and showed up for Suprabhatam at 5:45? Inconveniences. Yeah? We are all here because we believe in this collective energy, and we believe that collectively we can transform together and grow together. Yesterday during the talk show, they presented a project, the Seedlings Project. Remember how they showed you? They take the maple seedlings, they bunch them together for safety so they can grow together. So let us all come together and grow together. So group sadhana is the effective way for self-transformation. Jai Sai Ram, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I wish you were my math teacher. My life would have turned out to be different, but that's okay. A wonderful quote that Swami says is, the individual and society are intertwined inextricably. There must be illumination for both. Society is just a name for a group of individuals. Individuals are the limbs that nourish and support the corpus called society. Divine Discourse 1974. Today you heard these two amazing dynamic themes. How many of you are with individual sadhana? How many of you are with group sadhana? How many of you are with both? How many of you are totally confused? That's okay. Because we're going to talk about something as to where this sadhana is leading us all, to wrap this up, right? Does anybody know what a method actor is? Right? A method actor is somebody who lives the role, right? They spend so much time understanding the character, and they become that role. And as soon as the camera starts rolling or they walk onto the stage, they become that character, right? Yesterday we saw those YAs become cows. Method acting. That's what I call method acting, right? So imagine that all those wonderful YAs who did the play yesterday show up today here, wearing the same costumes, saying the same things, and you'll be like, did you get a good night's sleep? Everything okay? We absolutely loved that play. It was amazing, all the sacrifices you did. It was one of the best plays I saw, but everything okay? And if they say, right? So what has happened? They went so deep into method acting that they forgot to turn it off, right? We are all method actors. Yeah. Have you ever thought about it? I'm method actor, Sai Santosh. I believe it so wholeheartedly with all of my heart that I absolutely believe that I am Sai Santosh. And Swami is saying, no, Bangaru, you and I are one, right? So, the concept of now, and Swami says, the omnipresent now, everything is in the now. If I am always playing the role of this method actor called Sai Santosh, you can see the self-realization is always a future goal. It's out there. I'm always chasing that self-realization out there. And Swami says that right now, be free now. Are we ready for absolute freedom now? And I was deeply moved by a scene yesterday from the SSC play where the young child takes the doll, and what does she do? She offers it to the fire, lets it go. And in that depth of silence, when I offer all my I should be and I shouldn't be, my past and my future, and everything I have done or not done, and I offer that now in this present moment to Swami, all that remains is nothingness. Which Swami says, above you nothing, below you nothing, to the right of you nothing, or to the left of you nothing. Dissolve yourself into that nothingness. That would be the best way you could explain the realization of the self. And yet, that nothingness would not be the absence of something like nothingness. That nothingness is the fullness of everything, the power of the existence of that appears to be everything. So hope you are all energized after this debate and feel inspired to dive deeper into the now. Thank you so much.